Chullin Daf pei hey. What happens if you shecht an animal and you find out you can't eat it? Do you have to do kisei adam or not? For instance, you shecht an animal and it's a treifa, or you thought about it with a zara, or you shechted chulin inside the Beis Hamikdash, or you shechted a carbon that belongs in the Beis Hamikdash outside of the Beis Hamikdash, or is an animal that deserves skila because it was nirva. So that's the machlekes we had 4 or 5 days ago with Oisei Ubenai. Machlekes Remeir Reb Shimon whether shchita she'ena ruya, shchita that you cannot eat its meat, shma shchita or lo shma shchita. Remeir holds shma shchita, it is a good shchita, and therefore by us, by kisei adam, you're required to do kisei adam. And Reb Shimon holds lo shma shchita, you're not required to do kisei adam. Very interesting, says the Gemara, that when the Mishnah describes Oisiv as Benoi on Daf Pei Aleph Amid Beis, the Mishnah over there says Chachamim Oimrim that Oisiv and Benoi is noyeg even if by Shchita She'ena Ruya. In other words, Shchita She'ena Ruya, Shma Shchita, like Remeir. But the Mishnah doesn't say Remeir. The Mishnah says Chachamim. And in our Mishnah, when the Mishnah says that you're Chayiv Bekisi Adam by Shchita She'ena Ruya, the Mishnah says Chachamim Oimrim that Shchita She'ena Ruya lo Shma Shchita. Says the Gemara, that's because Rebbe in the Mishnah of Oisiv is Benoi paskin like Remeir, but he called Remeir Chachamim to tell us that that's the halacha. And in our Mishnah by Kisei Adam, he passing like Reb Shimon that Shchita She'ena Ruya lo Shma Shchita like Reb Shimon, and he called Reb Shimon Chachamim to tell us that the halacha is like Chachamim. Why is it? Because Rebbe liked Remeir's drashas by Oisiv Benoi, and he liked Reb Shimon's drasha by us by Kisei Adam. By Oisiv Benoi, Remeir darshins the word loisishchatu by Oisiv Benoi, and by kachim chutz, if somebody shechs an animal outside of Beis Hamikdash, it also uses the lashon of shchita. So he made a comparison, just like by shchutei chutz. If you shecht an animal outside of Beis Hamikdash, it's a full-fledged shchita, even though it's not a kosher shchita, but it's a full-fledged shchita to be mechayev the guy kares and malchus. So too by Oisiv Benoi, it's a full-fledged shchita. He did not prefer Reb Shimon's drasha, which was from Yosef Tzaddik. It says by Yosef Tzaddik utavayach, a lashon of tvicha, which also means shchita, but it uses a different lashon. Since it's a different lashon, he preferred to use pasuk number 2 over here, which is a lashon of shchita, versus tavayach, pasuk number 3, which is a different lashon. Although in Gemara you see a lot of times that we do exer shava between words that don't really sound the same, but they mean the same thing, like v'shava koyin, ubaha koyin, it's exer shava. They mean the same thing, but they're not the same word. But when you have the opportunity to make a gzer shava with the same exact word, shchita shchita, Remeir prefers to do it that way. And that's why Rebbe said, I agree with you, because Reb Shimon holds tavayach tevach is better because it's chulin. Yosef Tzaddik was shechting in his house. Whereas Oisiv Benoi is also chulin. But the shchutei chutz is kachim. Says Reb Shimon, I don't want to learn kachim, chulin from kachim. And Remeir says, wait a minute. Oisiv Benoi is also kachim. It applies to everything. Not only that, Oisiv Benoi is brought down in the parsha of kachim. So it makes more sense to learn shchutei chutz and Oisiv Benoi from shchutei chutz. And Rebbe agreed with him, and that's why he passed him by Oisiv Benoi like Remeir, and he called him chacham. Now in our sugya, by Kisei Adam, so Remeir says again the same drasha. It says shchita by shchutei chutz, and we consider it a full-fledged shchita. So too by Kisei Adam is considered a full-fledged shchita. Reb Shimon says by Kisei Adam asher yei ochel. It has to be something that you can eat, and it comes to exclude birds that are treif that you can't eat. And why don't you have to do Kisei Adam on a bird that's treif that you can't eat? Because you can't eat it. So anything else that you can't eat, such as a treif, avodah zarah, etc., also does not require Kisei Adam. And Rebbe preferred his drasha and paskin like Reb Shimon that shchita she'ena ru'uya lo yishma shchita by Kisei Adam. Says Reb Abba, even if we can combine two opposing shitas, we take the shita of Remeir, the shchita she'ena ru'uya shma shchita, it's considered shchita, and we'll take the shita of Chachamim by Ben Pekua. Chachamim say that even a full-term fetus that came to 9 months, you could do the shchita on the mother and it would work on the kid. Even if you combine those two shitas, but if the mother was a treifa, don't try to shech the mother and say, oh, it's a shchita she'ena ru'uya for the mother because she's treif, but it will work for the fetus. It will not work. The halacha is, if somebody brings chulin into the azar and shechs it, he's over because he did a shchita. What if he killed the animal? He shot the animal? He's not over. What if the animal was a treifa? Is it like shooting or is it like shechting? Reb Shimon says that shchita sheina ruya lo yishma shchita. So it's basically like shooting the animal. So if the animal is a treifa, you can benefit from the animal. You're allowed to have anah from the animal. Yet, at the same time, Reb Shimon says there is a little bit of a shchita here. To the point, what does the shchita accomplish? It accomplishes that it removes the tumah from this animal. It's no longer tumas nevela, it's a treifa. Reb Shimon holds by Chullin in the Azara, if somebody shechted Chullin in the Azara, and it's not a treifa, you're not allowed to benefit from it, you have to burn the animal. And he says the same thing will make a gzeira to a chaya. So if somebody shechted a deer in the Beis Hamikdash, you burn it. Obviously, says the Gemara, he holds that this burning is not a derabbanan gzeira, that maybe somebody might see this. If somebody benefits from Chullin Bazar, he might say, oh, you can benefit from any carbon and bring it outside the Beis Hamikdash. It's not a gzeira, it's a deraisa. Because if it was only a gzeira derabbanan, what did Rabbanan say? That if somebody shechs Chullin Bazara, a cow, then you have to burn it. So that's one gzeira. And then they added another gzeira that you can't do it, that if you shech the chaya on the Beis Hamikdash, you would also have to burn it. That's a gzeira l'gzeira. We don't do that. So the only way you were geyser on a chaya, a deer, is if it's an original gzeira. In other words, the Torah said you cannot benefit from a cow that you shechted in the Azara, and they made one gzeira to a chaya. So it's obvious that it's da'iraisa. Reb Chia says the Gemara asked, Rebbe, what do I do with the moths? I have an infestation of moths that are eating my clothes. How do I get rid of them? Says Rebbe, take a bird, shecht it, and use the blood. They hate the blood. Ask the Gemara, wait a minute, what happened to Kisu Adam? You can't just shecht a bird and use the blood. You have to cover the blood. Says the Gemara, two pshat. Either the pshat is, he said, make the bird a treifa, and after you make the bird a treifa, then you do shchita. Now, the chiddush would be that even though he made a proper shchita afterwards, we don't say shchita sheina ruya shma shchita. Or he told him, go ahead and don't shecht it, but shecht it and make it an avela. Do it improperly. Do an achira. Cut it north to south instead of right to left. And the chiddush would be that don't say that the shechita of a bird is not min haTorah. Rather, it is a deraisa. Kasher tzivisicha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu that this is how you shecht a bird properly. Have a wonderful day.